We're back with another episode of 2.5 Chicks. On today's episode, we welcome back Brian's girl, Em, who you might remember from Season 2's Maximum Pleasure episode, where we gave her advice on how to achieve the elusive female orgasm. She's here to confirm she's batting 1,000 now, and what simple thing made the difference. We talk about navigating intimacy and stress in relationships, and how Brian and Em's role around stress seems to have flipped. We take on the subject of dirty talk, and how you might explore it with a partner who hasn't quite tapped into it yet. We discuss sexual satisfaction and desires, and how two people with seemingly different styles can bridge the gap. We also talk about how aging can change one's sex life, and get into the exploration of fantasies with open support, creating a safe space to explore each other's kinks and fantasies. Finally, Brian and Em talk about how they've been able to find common sexual ground despite their differences. So settle in and stay with us for this candid episode of 2.5 Chicks. Welcome back to 2.5 Chicks. It's me, Tess, and Monica, and Brian.
Hello.
And today we brought back a guest from the past. We brought back Brian's girl, Em. You might remember her from Season 2 episode Maximum Pleasure.
Maximum Pleasure.
By the way, I think was our most watched, almost listened to episode.
Yeah. It was. It was one of our most listened to episodes, wasn't it?
It was, because it was an embarrassing moment for me. Everybody wants to hear that.
No, it wasn't. You had a blast on that episode. I just listened to it.
I did.
So in that episode, we talked about, it was a follow-up to another episode where we talked about Brian. It was an intimate look at Brian and Em's sex life. And we did a lot of advising and trying to basically help give suggestions to spice things up and help with I'm going to be really frank here, the rate of orgasms. A lot has changed since then. I mean, I was saying that Brian and Em weren't even living together yet. And one of the things I noticed was that the stress that Em was under and needing to change her headspace so that she could focus more on her body and less on her stress. So Brian, I think you guys changed roles since then. Because now Brian's been talking the last several podcasts about his brain and stress and work and how he can't get into it. So anyway,
my defunct abilities to, produce on a regular basis.
Last time we gave a lot of advice about how to spice things up. And you were already at the time listening to podcasts and doing research and thinking about what you wanted to do. But we've heard several accounts since then about you batting 1,000. So
I just wanted you to come on and just prove that I wasn't lying.
Corroborate his story.
That's right.
So what's going on from your perspective and what's working for you?
Well, I will confirm the batting 1,000 since the episode.
There it is. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Appreciate the accolades.
Actually, to be honest, I'm not quite sure exactly what changed. It might have just been getting it out there in the open and talking about it was a way of maybe giving myself permission to let go and just enjoy it. But I'm not sure.
And this is all done without breath control or, tugging,
hair
pressure
grip,
tests on hair grip.
Grip
nothing.
testing.
It's not like we've done anything spectacular, and we're not doing cartwheels in bed and doing this, and we're not talking dirty to each other. We're just doing our basic, what's good for us routine. Right, honey? Am I wrong?
Mm-hmm. Nope. I was thinking about this. I was thinking of topics for the podcast, and I was thinking how a good topic could be people who are having problems, calling in and asking Brian for advice, because he is quite good at things. But then I was thinking about it, in relation to our talk tonight, if if that was what made a difference, and it really isn't, because you really you don't do very much.
Wait a minute, explain that a little bit. Explain that a little bit.
Oh, he doesn't. He doesn't have to work very hard to bat 1,000.
Oh,
he doesn't do
Got it. But what made the difference for you? You said you opened up, you got a little more, gave yourself permission. You think that was it?
I think so. And I think maybe things falling into place a little bit with Brian and my daughter. Mm-hmm. It was rough at first.
It was funny because I told you guys, her and her daughter, we talked not too long ago, and She's like, "Buh, remember when I didn't like you?" It's like, yeah, because I didn't like you either.
Oh my goodness.
But now
only
she's
you
the
would
light
say
of my
that
life.
to a child.
I mean, high stress is definitely a libido killer. And if he wasn't getting along with your daughter, who is so important to you, that would affect your libido.
Yeah, if we could just get rid of the dog, I think I would definitely ramp it up a bit. We just need to get rid of the dog.
Oh,
Maybe we should ask. We have a great dog. He's super well behaved. His happy place would be with somebody who loves to go hiking. He's great off leash. We just don't have much time to give him what he needs.
Yeah.
If anybody wants a dog, he's a
Don't look at
lab
me.
pit mix.
I love big dogs, but I cannot have another dog.
You just like big dongs. But anyway, going back to us, she recommended one time, I think that what we should start doing is planning like a sex night. And I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not planning no sex night.
I'm with her.
And I was kind of mad about it.
How can you not plan a sex night? It's so fun.
Well, it's funny because I've never had to plan sex.
You don't have to. It's just fun.
I think the more I thought about this is because I lived alone for so long. When I was married, there was no amazing sex. Like, my wife was not the greatest person in the world sexually. You know what I mean? It's just kind of vanilla. It's just when I divorced her, when I was with other people and I realized there was a lot more than vanilla, right? I realized it was just spontaneous and passionate. But the thing was, I lived alone. So when I saw these people, it wasn't every night. It wasn't sleeping next to them. It was, it was sporadic. But I live with someone now, and it's, I live with a dog and a kid, and now I'm in a new place with lots of stress and all this other stuff. So it's totally different. So when she said that to me, I was like, no. But now, it's not like I want to still plan the, sex night. But I do say to her, what are you doing tonight? I want to do some cuddling. And then she gets all perky and everything. It's hysterical.
So when you're dealing with all that stuff, you don't have sex immediately on the brain, right? Like the dog and the kid and the work and all that stuff. So
it's literally the last thing on my mind. And I hate to say it, but it's the last thing.
But that's what I'm saying. If you plan a sex night, doesn't it give you something to look forward to? That it's not going to be your regular sex night. It's going to be something different. It's going to be something that we plan that we're going to do something different than we normally do. Isn't that exciting?
Well, I will say this. Doing that without a child in the house is different.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Because what we do is we have a routine, right? We fall into a routine. We go home, we eat dinner. By the time we clean up, she's already got to put the kid to bed. And then she's gone for an hour. She falls asleep because she reads the kids' stories. And then, by the time I'm watching TV, now my brain is finally relaxing. I'm watching mindless television, or I'm sitting outside looking at the stars, cause I got to tell you, Reno, as much as I can't stand it, the mornings and the nights here are amazing. I'll sit outside and decompress. And by the time I go upstairs, I just want to go to bed now. By the time she gets ready, she cleans up, she gets into bed. I'm like, I just want to go to bed. Mm-hmm. I don't want to have sex at 11 o'clock at night. I want to be sleeping by 11 o'clock at night.
Whenever I try to initiate, if it hasn't been planned, he doesn't want to.
And he's admitted that on the podcast.
He has.
He's admitted that quite a few times.
The only time he wants to is if he plans it ahead of time now.
Yes. Well, we have to both be on the same plan, though. I have to tell her, all right, look, I know you're going to put the kid to bed, but don't fall asleep. Don't be in there too long. And she falls asleep anyway.
Okay, so sex plan aside, if you're not in the mood, there's nothing she can do to get you in the mood?
Oh, yeah, she can. She does. We just had sex twice this week, right? And back to back.
Okay.
And because I was drunk, and she got turned on because I was drunk. And don't say you were. You were a little turned on. You felt like you could take advantage of me.
No, it was because of the night before. And then you got drunk, and I was like, dang it.
What do you mean? Oh, yeah, that's right. The night before we had sex. Then I got drunk the next night. She wanted to take advantage of me. And then she tells me, I'm going to touch myself. And I was like, that just got me going. So then I started to okay, well, while you're doing that, touch me. And then while she started touching me, I was like, okay, game on.
Maybe that's what she has to do when you're not in the mood. Just do something that unwittingly you find sexy.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. That was pretty sensual. That was pretty cool. But why don't you tell them what you said the next day? Do you remember last night?
She said that to you. Do you remember last night?
Do you remember last night? I was like, I had 3 glasses of wine. I didn't sit there and drink a 5th of Jack.
Like, you kept saying how drunk you were.
Well, I was. You saw tonight. I put the rest of the wine in only like a 1/4 of the glass poured in. Oh, I drank almost a whole bottle of wine the other night.
Okay, so this is a very different scenario than it was last time we were on here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's funny because going back to what we were talking about and how we're, the sex is not, I'm going to say the sex has improved. We've always had good sex together, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, I was so used to being like a very verbal sexual person. Like I tell stories, I talk in their ear, and I tell me who you want to sleep with, and, tell me about your past lovers. But I told you when I talked to her about it, and what, I don't know, I probably mentioned this before, but I don't like doing that with her because she's so serious on the answers.
Oh, you said it was because she was so sweet.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, tell me about the last guy. Well, we were in the living room, and she says it's so blasé about it. I'm like, can you?
That's right. You got talking about the tone of voice.
Because by default, she just doesn't talk like that.
I get it.
She doesn't have a sex phone operator sound normally.
And like when she talks and like when she does get sexual with the talk and everything, it's always about her and I. I don't want to hear about us. I'm already with you. Tell me about somebody else.
That's got to be a little weird for you, Em, though. Like, is that a little weird for you that he wants to hear about you and somebody else? Because that's not something people are accustomed to talking about with a current lover.
Well, the hard part is like, I don't really want to be with anyone else. So like, I have to lie if I like to come up with stuff.
A story. You have to become a novelist.
Lying isn't something that I do it doesn't come naturally.
No, and it's bad because she'll start giggling and all kinds of weird stuff. And I'm like, it just
takes the sexy right out of it.
You know what I do? I just turn the lights off. I keep my mouth shut. We do what we got to do. I go to bed. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. It feels wonderful. Like it's always like very like dragged out, and like my orgasms, like, they're very like prolonged because it's very tantric, but it's like, I want a little dirty talk and I want it to be real, like sounding like, I don't want, we were at my mom's house in the living room and,
So you've given that feedback, right?
100 times.
You mentioned recently, Brian, that I don't know if it was after I don't remember which episode it was in. I don't even know if it's aired yet. But you mentioned something about having a hard time talking dirty to her because she's so sweet. And I remember Monica and I going, yeah, but what if she likes it? So have you ever tried that?
I don't know. And do you like it when I talk dirty?
Maybe.
That's a no.
You haven't really tried it with me. You could try it.
Yeah. If somebody would have just said, oh my God, I would love that. Yeah. Then I'd be like, okay, but I don't know. You could try it.
She hasn't tried it yet. So how can she know if she likes it? Right?
Yeah. I don't know what it would be, but I think the biggest thing is if it turns you on, then it would turn me on.
Yeah, but here I tell you all the time what turns me on, and it's not like you're doing it like verbally.
I told you, because I have to lie about it, like it.
Just make up a story.
I'm telling you, it's the worst. She's the worst liar.
Right, but since we
planet.
were talking about that and that didn't work, I was going back to the idea of you talking dirty to her.
Maybe, look up some stuff on the internet and write down a script and memorize the lines. And then that way you could just say it, because it's just memory. But you have to
pretend.
figure out how to say it the right way. Not like,
exactly. You're right,
I did
Monica.
this, but
don't give all of the background.
Yeah, you're not reading it. You're not reading it during sex. You're actually trying to act it out.
In the moment. Mm-hmm. How do you say it as if you're feeling it in the moment, right?
That's right. And make it sound like it was you. Don't make it sound like it was somebody else's story.
So all you have to do is, instead of saying, I want you to do this to me, and I want you to do this to me, and I want you to do this to me, you have to say, oh my God, he did this, and I felt like this, and he did that. Yeah. You have to change your tone of voice and speak low and get near his ear, and right? Is that what you're talking about?
But I know how she is. She's very, very, she's gonna laugh. She's gonna laugh. And I'm gonna deflate, and then I'll be like, and I'm gonna get upset.
Makes me think that Brian's a blow-up doll.
I am, Monica. Right now, I'm just a boy toy. I'm a fuck doll.
Oh my goodness. No, you're not. All right. So if that one doesn't work, what else you got? What else? What about, like I said, what about you talking to her?
Well, what I should do? What if I start telling you stories about my past? How would you feel about that?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure. Just try it and then we'll see.
Well, here's the other problem I have with her. And I mean this in a very good way. She's so sweet. She's literally the nicest human being on the planet.
Okay.
And I don't mean this in a bad way, but like she's so wifey. She's not girlfriendy.
Oh, we're good adults. Let's not do that.
I know.
It sounds horrible.
No. And I don't mean that in a bad way because I love her so much and she's so adorable. And the sex we have is so fitting for us.
But you think you have a freaky side that you haven't tapped into yet?
Maybe. I don't know. But I liked your last suggestion. Like, I think you should try that, BB.
Hey, I'll try it.
Yeah.
I know it's going to happen. I'm going to feel bad for saying it.
She doesn't like it. You don't do it again. That's all.
Tone it down. Like Tess said, just tone it down. So it's not like at a level 10, it's like at a level 5 where you say something sexy, but you don't say something mean.
Oh, no, I never say anything mean. I never would do that. But
some guys in the spur of the moment will call a girl a whore. Some girls wouldn't want to be called a whore in the spur of the moment. So that might come off as mean. But you can also you know what I mean? But you can also not call anybody a name, but just say, I don't know.
Like, suck my cock, you fucking whore.
Well, how about leave out the you fucking whore?
Oh, you can call her your whore. Like she's your
or my
whore.
Beautiful whatever. Like
put a positive spin on it.
Do you hear yourselves?
Yeah.
Suck my cock, you beautiful girl, you. Come on.
No, I was just saying
we're talking about.
We're just saying, just make it more intimate between you two, even though you use the dirty words.
Sometimes dirty needs to be dirty, folks.
Well, I agree, but you're the one saying you didn't know how you felt weird saying it to her. So,
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's hard to say things like dirty to her.
So what you're saying is it's just not what you two have together because she's sweet. So maybe that's not something you want to explore. Okay, so maybe that's not something. Maybe you could spice it up in other ways. Maybe that's not what you explore.
It's funny because every single day I see her, I see the most amazing person I've ever met. This is not a secret. I tell everybody this. Yes, you do. I tell her friends. I tell my friend. It doesn't matter who it is, my family. So when I see this woman, when I get into bed with her, I love cuddling with her. She's like my cuddle buddy and we, I love it. And we have sex and I go to bed, but it doesn't need to be that filthy kind of dirty sex. I can't wrap my head around it. I don't think I could do it with her.
How do you feel about that? Are you satisfied with just the lovey-dovey stuff?
Yeah, I think so. As long as you're happy with it.
Oh yeah.
Because the thing, like you say, you wanted me to stimulate your prostate, but then you won't ever let me, and stuff like that. It's
not because it's got to be the right moment intestinally.
Intestinally.
Yeah,
you can't have eaten something bad.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can't eat. Okay.
You don't want to have a night. Yeah.
Exactly.
You can't do that after a certain diet or what have you.
I mean, let's face it. We go out on dates. We have date night a lot. And I'm not going to lie to you. Every single time it seems. And she starts to say, I think that you're doing it on purpose. I mean, she was dead serious. I would get such stomach cramps. I would be dying to get home to use the bathroom.
Is that activity one of those things that you have a hard time doing with her because she's so sweet?
What activity?
Prostate play?
No, not at all.
That's not one? Okay.
No.
Well, we were just trying to see if that might have been
I have no problem with her doing that because she's so nurturing too. Mm-hmm. She did this thing. She read it would you find it on a podcast or something where you were just doing me, rubbing me and just told me this isn't sexual. This is just.
Oh, yeah.
She was just doing everything in my groin area and down my thighs. And I literally started to fall asleep. And it felt so good and relaxing. And then I felt bad. And she's like, well, you don't feel bad. This was supposed to happen. This is what I read was going to happen. But mentally, I couldn't I thought it was supposed to lead to sex.
Yes. And the opposite problem exists. So every time I try to make a move, I get into sleep.
It's relaxing.
Well, I'm telling you, she's not lying. Listen to her voice, folks. I mean, when you hear this girl's voice, right? It's a soothing, relaxing voice. It's not just like abrasive voice, right?
Yeah.
It's a sweet voice.
When she's touching me, the pressure is probably 0.2 pounds. When I give a massage, it's 10 to 15 pounds of pressure, right? It's like having a weight on you. When she does it, it's literally like you're getting
caressing, relaxing.
Yes. And she does it so slowly, and I fall asleep. I can't help it. It feels great.
So you gotta just be harder and harsher to keep him awake.
Yeah, I need ideas for how to make a move without putting you to sleep.
You just need to act like a bitch. You just need to act like a real bitch and start throwing things at his head. I bet you if you start throwing things at his head and start breaking things against the wall, away from
smack his ass
little
a little
one.
bit, I don't know.
He's gonna chase you down and pin you to the bed and
yeah. Though he did say in another episode he doesn't want to be dominated.
You know what? They make it funny. Get some stuffed animals and throw that at him so he doesn't get hurt.
So one of the things we talked about in the last episode was you guys either reading some stories together or watching some movies with different types of sexual content. You guys never did that?
I would love to do that. Yeah, but I fall asleep.
Well, do it on well, you can't ever do it earlier because of the bedtime, but I was going to say, do it, it's really the whole point of doing it is to find out what resonates. Like when you watch different types of stuff, it's did that turn you on? Did it not turn you on? Did it evoke a response? That
you
kind
know
of
what it's
thing.
like? I would love to try that, but I got to be honest with you. I feel uncomfortable watching something with her like that.
Oh, jeez, Brian.
I think that you just I think you uncovered one of the biggest issues is the fact that you can't see her that way.
Yes, it's exactly
You're
right.
suffering from the syndrome that you used to hear men in the old days. I don't know if they still have this problem, but where they would have the wifey who was the saint to them. Right.
Girl for bed and the girl for
yes.
bed.
Yes. And that's what she is. 100%.
In the last episode, you told her, close the door. When we close that door, you can get as freaky as you want.
I agree, but I can't do that right now. I can't. I have a block in my head because she giggles through everything. She, it's it's not your fault, honey. It's not your fault. You are who you are. I love you for who you are. But the fact of it is it's really hard to wrap my head around her.
So you know
physically,
what?
Not physically, sexually.
Once those lights turn off and the door closes, you start calling asshole, you son of a bitch.
You just gotta change his opinion he's got of you.
She tried that once and what happened?
What happened? You got mad?
Well, we were in an argument one time. She told me, fuck, what'd you tell me?
No. This is an argument. Argument is different. I'm talking about when you're in the room alone and you're thinking about doing something. That's when she should just start hurling the words at you. Asshole. Fucker.
He would just laugh. Look, he's laughing now at the thought of it.
Exactly.
Because he knows it's not who she is. Yeah.
Yes. And and not to be, like I said, listen, and not to be mean, honey. I love you to death. Just know everything I say, I'd say it with the best of intentions, right? She doesn't put perfume on. She doesn't things that I will smell and maybe get a little, she just, she's very natural. It's when she dresses up and we go out, we went to a concert the other night and she looked good and we had sex, we got back. I couldn't wait. But it's I wouldn't mind a little, perfume every once in a while and, that kind of stuff. But she's just this is me. I could see her at Burning Man.
Burning Man's very sexual.
No, not for that reason. She's very granola.
Have you ever been to Burning Man? It's
once.
Is it really that bad, Em?
No, it's not bad. It's very, very, there's a lot of sex involved in Burning Man. Is that true? A lot of free spirits.
Yeah. I didn't, I only...
Yeah, go ahead. You can tell the story.
Right
just
now,
don't use the name. You can tell the story. Don't use the name.
I only saw it with the friends I went with.
And?
This couple invited me to go with them and we were staying in their motorhome and they got really drunk one night and
I see where this is going.
We went to a bar and then there was another girl there and my friend that's the girl started touching her and they were all three getting into it. And so I hopped on my bike and rode off into the desert.
Exactly. Do you see what I mean? Do you see what I mean, folks? She wasn't the third person.
I would have did the same thing.
She was not
me,
the
man.
third
I would have gone
person.
in there.
Exactly. And I thought, man, this would be a great story to tell me in bed. You know what I got to hear? They did that, and man, I got on my bike and rode away. And I was like, damn it.
Oh, that's funny. You know what you should do? Just blindfold them and read an audio erotica story that you find on the internet. but do it in a sexy voice. And then he won't know that you're reading it.
Her voice is sexy. Like she does have such a great sexy voice.
I imagine you whispering and would sound really good.
No, even her normal voice. I love her normal voice.
No giggling.
Yes, that's what it is. She thinks everything is a giggle.
Look, here's the thing. We're not here to change your sex life. This is it's whatever makes you two happy together. That's what's important. But if you want to go down that road of adventure a little bit more to increase your frequency or excitement or whatever, there's a lot of options. But I don't want it to come off like we're saying what you should be doing and that your sex life isn't great the way it is.
I mean, honestly, it does sound like it's good. Continue as is.
It's like I said, it's really good. It's just not 19, 20-year-old sex anymore.
No.
And I feel bad sometimes because I feel like she's not been with a lot of people. Like she's only been with 25 people, hon?
Yeah, okay, Brian.
Nope, it's 7 or 8.
She's 7 or 8. If you have 7 or 8 and you don't know which one it is, it's 18.
Some people don't count them. I don't count.
The tip counts. But the point is, I feel like she's found her a little bit of a sexual awakening with me. Am I wrong?
No.
So it's hard for me to I'm on the downslide and she's on the upslide. So it's
But it sounds like you're only on the downslide because she's so sweet and because you're so stressed. As a person, do you really think you're losing? You don't think you're losing your sex drive?
Well, I'll be honest with you. It's not like I go out and when I see a pretty girl now, I'm like, yeah, she's pretty. I want to go play golf. I don't care about that stuff anymore.
That's kind of a good thing. You're not tempted. That's good. That means you're happy.
I am so my buddy and I had this conversation the other day. So he's coming to visit, right? My buddy Jeff's coming out to visit and we're going down to see you and we're going to go on a golf trip. And we were on the phone and I was telling him all things we're going to do. And his wife was with him in the car. And he's like, I don't want you, I tried to shut you up a little bit because I don't want her getting all jealous for us going out. I'm like, jealous? We're on a road trip and play golf. What the fuck? What's there to be jealous about?
What were you saying?
All I was saying is we're going to be doing this and we're going to go to your place. We're going to go play golf. We're going to drive here. And I was like, what does she think we're doing? You know what I mean? I'm not cheating on anybody. I just want to go literally hang out with you, see you guys down in LA, drive the coast, play some golf and come home. Yeah, it's nothing about women. There's zero has to do with women. You know what I mean? And you asked me this question 10 years ago and I'd be like, yeah, we gonna be fucking everything. You know what I mean? I don't care. If we gotta pay for it, we're gonna be doing it. Now, I'm like, I ain't doing shit. I'm never gonna find anybody better than this. So it's not like I'm going to ruin this. And to be honest with you, I probably developed a little bit of a conscience now. So if I did do something, I'd feel really bad.
That's not a bad thing at all.
Because there's 2 people involved now. The more I think about this conversation, the more I'm happy with the basics.
There you go.
Well, I mean, when we started having that conversation, it was really about you wanting her to be satisfied. That's all it was about,
Now we're kind of talking about how to make Brian satisfied.
I know, right? Now that's what the conversation is now, right?
We actually delved into all this creativity just to be able to help Em find her mojo, but it's not necessary.
I would love to hear more from guys that are my age about when they're having their orgasms now, because my orgasms are not as strong as they used to be. And I don't know if that's a testosterone problem. I don't know if that's because of the way we're having sex. I don't know what it is.
Are you talking about the feeling or the output?
The feeling. So it's not like that crazy toe curling, snap your tendons, stress, you know what I mean? Tightening and releasing. It's more of okay, there's the release. It's more like a symphony than a heavy metal. It's not so maybe you guys could ask older, the guys you've been with or you're with.
Have you been checked for your testosterone levels?
Well, I've just got blood work, but I don't think I've been tested for testosterone. But the amount of times I cry, I gotta imagine it's pretty low.
Oh, geez.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, it is typical for it to get lower once men go above 50.
But I don't know if that has to do anything with the feeling of the orgasm. Again, when you're having your orgasms, are they toe curling or are they just this is just so nice?
Yeah. No, I'm having the same thing. They're not as strong. They're more localized. They're not full body.
Right. What about you guys?
For me, it all depends on the circumstances.
Okay.
I don't feel like mine are any less than they ever used to be. But if I'm not into it, I'm not into it. But if I'm into it, they're really, really good.
Okay, Monica.
For me, I'm having other problems. Oh, I forgot I have to take blood work to see if I'm on menopause. I'm experiencing pain. So it's completely killing it for me.
Oh.
So you're experiencing vaginal pain when he's penetrating
that
me?
Doesn't go away. I think it's dryness that just doesn't go away.
That's normal with menopause from what I hear.
Yeah, it's terrible because like I can't enjoy it.
But can you use anything to help with that?
The lubricant doesn't work.
Really? Well, that sucks.
So it's been very painful. So it's almost like I'm also getting to the point where I just don't care. I'm starting not to care. Like, okay, I'm okay. You know,
I know it sounds horrible, Monica, but like and I love you, Em, but like sometimes I think like I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are depressing me.
I know, right? It sounds crazy, but like I'd be happy if we just went on vacations and did fun things and stuff like that. And if the sex happens, it happens. If it don't,
Yeah, I still care about having a connection with somebody, but like if I meet somebody and like, let's say they have, what's the word? ED? Erectile dysfunction. Yeah. I actually won't care. Like I'll be okay with it. I would care more about being able to spend time with that person and being on having a good connection with that person.
Well, we need to rebrand the podcast then.
I know, right? I don't know. I did tell my doctor about it and he said I'm supposed to get blood work. I forgot to go. So he'll let me know. I'll get back to you guys if I am or I am not. If I'm not, then it might be something else and I have to investigate.
Yeah.
I'm not in menopause, or maybe I am. Maybe I'm beyond menopause.
Menopause, I think, is when you lose the testosterone levels. They go down. And from what I understand, the symptoms are like depression-like symptoms.
Yeah, I could tell you, like, the amount of sunlight that we get here and everything, I shouldn't be depressed. But there are times where, and I tell Em all the time, I'm like, you know, I miss my family sometimes. As crazy as they are, I miss my friends. I miss the East Coast. I miss so much of it. You know what I mean? And and I even told her the other day, you know I've been out here for almost 2 years now, but my feeling of not wanting to be here has not lessened. It's tolerable because of her. And, I've been getting out and playing golf and doing all kinds of stuff, but it's not what I want. It's not what it's not my long-term plan.
Well, Em, are you willing to move if he wants to move?
Yeah, I'm open to considering it. Just circumstances aren't really in a position for me to do that right now.
Okay.
And I wouldn't do that to her anyway right now.
You might just have to wait a little longer.
Exactly. And I am trying to open up more because I'm trying to take more trips out here. Like we did the Oregon coast. We took, I need to experience, and I even told her I want to go to Montana next, rent a cabin in Montana this coming year just to get away and, and invite people if they want to come. Because Em and I will both say the same thing, right? The more the merrier, right? We aren't that couple that says, oh no, we need to go together. No, if everybody wants to come, that's a better time.
At least you're compatible travelers.
Yeah. Like I said, she's like the perfect female for me. She's absolutely wonderful. I wouldn't trade her anything. I'd trade the dog in, but I won't trade her in.
Well, that's a relief.
You'll trade the kid in, but not her.
I'll trade the kid. The dog, the kid, then her. But yeah, it's like, oh man. Look at Tess. Tess, did we depress you tonight?
I'm just not where you are. That's all. I'm in a different place in my life. I don't feel the same, but I don't have to. It's not.
Oh, you mean about traveling?
No, sex.
Oh, sex, Monica.
I don't care about traveling. I care about sex. I'm the opposite of Brian. I don't care if I ever travel. I don't give a shit about travel.
Well, I will say this.
I don't care if I see the world, but I don't want to lose my sex life or my sex drive. Like, I don't
Well, I'll say this. Like when I was single and having sex with multiple people, my sex drive was off the charts. It's never been my world. Like I've mostly had sex with one person for the last 20 plus years. I've had adventures, but that's not the sex life that sustains me. Yes. So like being with multiple people and multiple smells and multiple feelings and touches and tastes and sounds, it's exciting. Yes, it's absolutely exciting. Is it something I would want to do right now? Hell no. I'm tired. I don't want to do that shit. I like being with the same person, So like I do get having the choice of being with multiple people. Yes, it's exciting. And there's always something new to learn or something, different. So I could see why your sex drive is a little bit more.
No, I was saying the opposite, Brian. I was saying that most of my sex life in the last 24 years has been with one person. Yes, I've had adventures, but that's not what sustains me. What sustains me is that one person. Like the other stuff has happened, but it's few and far between comparatively.
Well, what do you and your husband do to keep things fresh or keep things exciting?
We're kinks. We have kinks that and it's just, I feel like, we never just are okay with it not being there. And then don't get me wrong. Sometimes we go weeks. We probably go longer than you guys go. But when we do come together, it's good. It's really good. And we're both really happy. And we both really, really miss each other when we don't. But he travels for work. I travel a lot for like my dad. And like there's a lot of stuff that happens. He plays gigs on weekends all the time. So we don't always have opportunity. But we write to each other. We share erotica. We still do all that. So when we do come together, it's good. It's really good. And we're really happy with it. But again, we also have our kinks, which I think keeps it exciting, which I don't talk too much in detail about.
What do you mean you won't talk too much in detail about it? We're going to have to rebrand this podcast because you're going to keep tight-lipped? You're supposed to be the exciting one now, Des.
I know, Tess. I know. You are. Oh, it's nice that you and Tim are able to communicate and be so open with one another about what you both really like and that you're able to share your kinks without fear of judgment.
We explored together. Our relationship didn't start that way. And we made a safe space for each other to explore those kinks. And our kinks are not always compatible. We're not always like the things that turn each of us on are not like exactly the same. Like I can't cast him in a certain role. He can't cast me in a certain role. But we still support each other in a rich fantasy world. So even if we can't in reality do some of the things that we fantasize about, we can still, like you guys were talking earlier about things that you want to hear during sex or whatever. Like we still, we support each other's fantasies. And there's times where he's like, I want to hear what you think. I want to hear what you think when nobody's around. I want to hear what you fantasize about when nobody's around. I mean, because we've experienced what it feels like to open up and to experience something we never thought we'd be able to experience. Even just sharing it with somebody, like if I have one-on-one sex with him and we're not doing the thing we're fantasizing about, just bringing it into the room with us is exciting. And so we created that environment between us. And trust me, we are not perfect. But like I said, we go sometimes long stretches, but I never would want to give up because of that. We both are like, I'm not giving up.
I'm just always afraid of if the longer the stretches go, if you don't use it, you lose it. It's that feeling kind of terrifies me a little bit.
That's why it starts in the brain.
That's probably what's happening to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel about that, Em?
Well, I had how long?
6 years.
6 year stretch before I met you. It comes back.
It comes back.
I mean, it comes back when you have a reason for it to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah,
you found a reason to concentrate on it again. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't concentrate on it, it's not going to come back.
Yeah.
It's like a light switch. If it's flipped off, there's not a lot of motivation for it to come back.
I feel bad for him. I feel like when she came back, she should have came back like with a 30-year-old or something.
No.
And they say that men can, father children and late into life? But they don't necessarily have the same sex drive, I guess.
Well, they're probably doing it chemically too. I know my buddy's dad was having sex like well into his like late 70s and 80s, but he would have to shoot himself up. He would have to shoot his penis with a needle with something to, to get him hard. But I'm like, my sex drive ain't enough to stick a needle in my dick.
Yeah. Some people are willing, I guess.
I've heard of more than one place that old people have a lot of sex. Like in the retirement communities and there's a lot of stuff happening there.
That's what all the STDs are. They said
I
the biggest amount of STDs are in retirement communities.
Uh-huh. That's funny.
Well, any closing remarks?
No,
not for me.
I think we covered it.
We brought them down so badly. They don't even have closing remarks.
Tess said it very well. If you guys are happy with your sex life, we really don't have to give any advice. Keep doing what you're doing if you're happy with it. If you're not, then take our advice, you know?
If you're not, then you have to bridge the gap.
I was just going to say that Brian looked so cute there talking about what a badass he is in his little safety committee shirt.
That's right. Hey, I save lives one person at a time.
The only thing that shows on the screen is just the word safety committee.
All right, for our listeners out there, I am on the safety committee at work, and we had to wear these shirts today, and it looks like I'm in the army with these green fatigues on. But hey, like I said, I want to skip all of the BS at work, and I just save lives, okay? Just remember, you have a doctor as a sister and a doctor as a brother, and I've saved more lives than both of them put together. Well, on that note, I want to thank Em for coming on again. I know I did most of the talking and complaining about you, but I do love you crazy. And, we'll make it work, baby.
Love you too, baby.
Thanks for listening to our show today. Special thanks to our producer, Dee, for turning these conversations we have into airable content. And thanks to you for listening in to Brian and Em's intimate journey and realistic look into the sex life of a long-term relationship. Do you have any additional advice for them? Or tell us, do you have a good story to share? We'd love for you to come on the show and share it with us. You can reach us by email at 2.5chickspod@gmail.com. You can also message us on Instagram at 2.5chicks, and while you're there, give us a follow. And make sure to subscribe to our podcast. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more content soon. Bye.